Guys, today we're going to compare three swimmers with varying abilities. We're going to look at the good things that they do, and then we're going to look at the things that they can do to improve. Now, the stuff that they have problems with their stroke is very common to a lot of people. So when you watch this, look at these swimmers and look at the things that you might also be dealing with, the problems that you might also be having that are hindering you from being the fastest swimmer that you can be. Let's check them out and let's see the steps that they can take to improve those issues that they may have. Sit back, relax, and let's soak it all in. Okay, here we have Lynn, who is a Division I caliber level swimmer. Her stroke is mostly an example of what the freestyle should look like. She's got good body rotation, nice high elbow recovery, nice and fluid all the way across. We can really see an example of a nice freestyle stroke. Great hand placement. She's only got one small little issue that is really common with a lot of people in the freestyle, and we're going to see that in just a second. Her thing that she could really fix is her head slightly goes from side to side as she pulls with her arms. As she pulls with the right, her head leans right. As she pulls with the left, her head leans left. And we're going to see that more when we get at the angle from underneath. Here on the side, we can see how that she has good high elbow from underneath. But here we're going to see that head movement from side to side. See how it goes right, left, right, left. And we would want her to hold that head still and let the body rotate right to left, so to be more efficient in the water without wasting energy. Now, Angel is a very athletic, strong swimmer, but she has some different issues. Here from the side profile, it's a little bit harder to see, but one of the big things that Angel could fix to help her stroke is that she over-rotates. If you look down at the hip area, she's rotating far too much from one side to the other, which is causing a snaking effect down the pool. And when we snake down the pool, we're losing some of that power that we're putting into our stroke. Angel also has a really nice high elbow recovery, but because of that snaking effect, you can see that when she takes a breath, she is losing some water. And this is very common in a lot of people who don't come from swimming backgrounds. They snake down the pool, and they're effectively losing energy when they could be conserving if they just kept their body a little bit more still. And here we can really see that from the top angle. A good drill to fix this is to imagine that when you swim that your hips are locked in and you can't move them. And by visualizing this, you will naturally rotate the hips the correct way. You can even place a kickboard underneath your hips while trying to pull and keeping that kickboard still, and that will teach you to rotate properly. Angel has a great, otherwise she has great body rotation from side to side. It's just a little bit too much. We can take a good look at her side profile here. Great job, Angel. And if we really want to get picky with Angel's stroke, another thing that we'll see in this next angle is that she's putting a lot of the power through her forearm instead of her whole side. You know, freestyle is called the front crawl because you crawl from one side to the other using your whole body powering forward. Now, if you look at this angle, you can see that she's really pulling a lot with that forearm. And she could grab a little bit more water if she used everything from her lats, shoulders, to her forearm, putting it all together. And here, finally, from the back, we can see where that snaking is evident. Now we're going to move on to Scott, big strong guy, and let's see the things that we could fix with his stroke. It looks good and smooth. He looks quite comfortable, but if you notice closely, when he's pulling, he's actually not finishing his stroke. He's pulling his hands up too early from the back. You want to finish the stroke down at the hip, where Scott is finishing the stroke probably about 6 inches before the hip. Otherwise, it looks really smooth and comfortable. He's only been swimming for a couple of years, so I have to give him a lot of respect because that stroke looks pretty good. He's got a nice high elbow recovery. All our swimmers do today. But here we can really see how he's not finishing that stroke. He's pulling those arms up way too soon. And in effect, he's losing water there. So a good drill for that is simply swimming with paddles with only your middle finger attached to the paddle, so that if you pull up too early, the paddle will slip off. This is nice extension from the front. This really looks good. Excellent. Okay, here in a little bit, we'll see the second biggest thing that is hindering Scott a little bit, and that is the fact that he is letting his hips drop. So we're going to see that now. Good upper body position, but you can see that from the hips down, those legs are a little bit too deep. So this is going to tire a swimmer out. We have to have those hips higher in the water, and we can achieve that by extending from our tip of our hands all the way to the tip of our toes. We have to stretch it out. And I have a video on that if you want to see on the channel. It's called Learn How to Swim Comfortably, and we discuss how to fix that issue. Here we can see how Scott is pulling too early. You see how those hands are coming up right before they get to the hip? Otherwise, I love how Scott is placing the front quadrant of his stroke. He's putting those arms correctly where they need to be. And you can really see that here as he's coming towards the camera. Really good placement. Now, how Angel was a little bit over rotating, this is actually something that Scott does really well. He rotates the correct amount. And you'll see how his hips are locked in from this back view, but he extends just enough so that his hips don't over rotate. And he's actually causing some nice propulsion down from the bottom because of that. So this is something that he does really well. Okay, so we're going to look at some flip turn common issues, and we talked about how Scott is relatively new to the swim. So he's now achieved a level where flip turns would be a good thing to add to his swimming. The thing that Scott does, which is very common with everybody who's trying to learn how to flip turn, is the arm placement after the turn. Here, if we really slow it down, as he turns into the wall, his arms are actually right now in the correct place where they need to be. He should just close them together and push off, but he releases the arms, brings them back down, turns his whole body around, and then tries to push off. Now, 99% of people who first start doing flip turns do this exact same thing. We're going to let our superstar swimmer Lynn give us the correct way of how to do it. We'll see her at full speed first. Bam, arms up, push off. Arms up, close, and push off. Now we'll slow it down so we can get a better look. Fluid into the wall. As she turns, her hands are going to be waiting for her, and all she has to do is close them up, push off on her back, and go. And notice how that she pushed off shallow. Scott let his feet drop way down, and it got him deep. And then he had to kind of rocket himself up. And we'll look at Lynn from outside of the water. Nice and fluid, and we'll slow that down to catch a better glimpse of it. Coming into that wall quick. Last stroke, fast turn, close, push. Great example of a proper flip turn. There you have it, guys. The 3 swimmers and their 3 freestyle strokes. Guys, if you have questions about your own freestyle stroke and would like me to take a look at it, why not send me a video of yourself to my email. I can put it into the editor, give you the recommendations that you need, and help you improve your front crawl stroke. So until next time, take care for now, and happy swimming.